Ooh. 'Tis the season?
Oh. Going away.
Let's see. Bear with it for a bit, I guess. Maybe we should have the camera in too.
Waiting for an advert.
It's fine. Ooh, I'm definitely chaotic today.
Yeah. Check this out.
The YouTubes.
Yeah. I think we're live.
Audrey, say hi to your people. How strange. It's much nicer having you here though. Merry Christmas Eve, friends and family, and I think it's going to be a bit behind on chat, but hopefully we'll see who's around. Do let us know what you're casting on. I'll ask again when hopefully a few more friends join. But I am going to start because I'm really excited. And I'm going to be knitting, this is the Land Girl jersey that was nicely in focus and it's gone.
Some technical issues to start
It's
it.
fine.
No, we're just little blurry Christmas people.
I've got a grin. Is it not going to do it? Is it not like our face anymore? It was trying. Come back to us.
Good start.
Hey.
There we go.
I won't get too close. But this is the Land Girl jersey by Wessel Bear. And I have my gorgeous bag by Natalia. And have my yarn. And this is, it's really festive actually, and it's kind of not too dissimilar, but it is very dissimilar to this. It is 80% Whistle Bear mohair and 20% Whistle Bear Wensleydale. Oh, yes boss. And yeah, this is a project that I haven't done the greatest swatch, so what I will say is do not use me as a model for your swatching. But I did swatch because I had some left over from my last project in the Whistle Bear Merry Christmas Aran weight yarn. So I did swatch ahead of time, and I did have to go down, or will have to go down, a needle size because I'm quite a relaxed knitter. Hello, Hannah. Hi, Mum. Mum, as always, probably caught technical issues. And yeah, I am excited. This is a top-down jumper. No, bottom-up jumper. And I think, I'm not going to tell you how many stitches. I have to cast on quite a few stitches, which I already lovingly did for Alex, so that he didn't have to do it on camera. So I've got my needle. I'm going to start with a long tail cast on, which is nice and stretchy. Little Audrey's not going to get involved. And this trick never works, but I do like to try it. I wrap my yarn around my needle. Um, 10 times, and then I always add a little extra for luck, so that's 5, 6, 7, 8. Hi Lottie! It would be very strange if Mum was saying that. Hi family! It's a family chat live on the YouTubes. Thank you for my Christmas present. This is This is it.
Who do I have to thank? Santa? For my jammies? Oh, was it not?
But you can thank Santa.
Who was Santa?
Who was Santa?
Santa's a super spreader.
But we now have matching tartan jammy bottoms, but not matching.
Were you Santa? Wow. I thought it was your mum.
I am my mum. It was Santa. Hey Rachel, what are you casting on? And what are you casting on in is it Minnesota, USA? Hannah? I'm really excited to be casting this on. I keep going past the bag of yarn, squishing it. I'm desperate. It's got a really lovely turtleneck, and if you've been here for a while, my turtlenecks have never come out perfect. Ooh, a cow. Do you know what? This time I've got my glasses on and I can really read what people are saying, and it's amazing. But if I sat face on, you'd see how wonky these things are, and you'd giggle at me. I hope everyone has a cup of something nice, whether it's a tipple or not. I have a glass of mulled wine, and you?
Yeah, I do too.
You do, yeah. And a glass of water because we're rock and roll. Hey Chelsea, well, Connecticut. There's lots of got some stateside today. It's kind of cool. Friends from across the pond, as we call it. Which I had to explain what a pantomime was to one of our.
A panto?
Yeah. A
Oh
panto.
no, you didn't.
Oh yes, I did. We started watching a pantomime before we became live. Is that? I know how to do YouTube talks. And I was telling a friend, and she had no idea what it was. But it's kind of like a musical comedy show that's meant for families, but often has
Basically a theatre show.
Yeah.
Interactive.
Hey Kelsey.
Semi-interactive theatre show.
Yeah, lots of shouting and booing and hissing and
Innuendos.
Yeah. It's a bit like a carry-on film for.
They wouldn't know what that is if they don't know what a panto is.
Oh, okay. My references are all so out of touch with. Hey.
Wow, all over the US. It's cool.
Yeah, very cool. I think that's why we did it a bit later. Oh wow. Sweater. Do you know, I've been looking, and I've asked on my Discord group, and I've asked on Instagram for a DK weight sweater or jumper, depending what you want to say, that's really simple, that has quite a high neck. I guess I could use this measurement, and then is ribbed or maybe broken rib, that is a bit like this. This is the Betty and Judy Lodge sweater that doesn't rest too low, because the jumper that I would like to replicate is too low and it's got too much bulk when I wear coats. So I'd quite like to make something. Hello from near Cologne and in the Netherlands. I hope you're keeping well. I know for knitters, like, typing in the chat's not the easiest. It's hard to step away. So it's really cool that people are stopping to say hi.
Do you think most comments come at the end of a row?
Yeah. I reckon.
Do you think most actions in daily life come at the end of a row? Put the kettle on. Or...
For a knitter, I think. Yeah. Maybe that should be a t-shirt. Maybe that should be our t-shirt. Just at the end of a row.
I'll do it at the end of my row.
Yeah. All this round. Oklahoma, wow. Yeah, knitters are really good at multitasking, I will say that. That is definitely... I often am quite impressed with how I carry my yarn and my project and whatever I need to carry around the house.
Unless it involves counting, though.
Yeah, which, when I have to count, which I'm not keeping count at the moment, but I guess I've got a long way to go. I might have to get Alex to take over, in which case, if you have any questions for him, don't be afraid to ask him.
You can't count and multitask, no.
Well, I can't.
You can't have any distraction when you're counting.
Yeah.
No way.
No, you can put in stitch markers and things to help, but... Ah, Lou. Hey, Jay. Marta, this is so nice. She is very much here. She's not that interested in joining in right now, but she might be. She's such a sweetheart. Oh, get on with it. Get on with your knitting.
Is this a sweater that you're...
Yeah.
This isn't something you're going to knit today? Like your dice bags?
No. This will take quite a while to knit this one. Oh, I'll have a little think about that. DK and fingering weight held together. Oh, hey Karen, I'm so pleased that you're feeling a bit better. I hope you're staying safe too.
Do you do you get any problems when you hold two different gauges of your yarn together?
No, not normally.
You can just do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Because I'm holding two together right now for the first time.
You are.
But they're both the same gauge, aren't they?
Well, but yeah.
Call it gauge?
Weight, usually.
Weight.
But yeah, you'd knit both of those at the same gauge. You can show off your yarn. Well, you can show off your yarn. You can explain what you're doing when we get... I won't bring it close because we already had a focus issue. This one, if I'm honest, I can't remember, but I think it's something maybe Stylecraft or King Cole. It's one of those sort of brands. And I think it was called Tweedy. This one is Jacob's... No, it's not Jacob, that's because it's my favourite. This is the Blueface Leicester by West Yorkshire Spinners in the light brown. I love it. I love this yarn. It's so soft.
And I'm just knitting a simple hat. It's kind of like what I'm wearing.
Yeah, Alex is knitting a 2x2 rib hat using DK yarn held double, and I am casting on, which is really scary. I was going to do it beforehand, but it felt like cheating. Enjoy your dinner, Marta. So this is the Whistle Bear Land Girl sweater, or Land Girl jersey. I'm so excited. I'm using... I can't stop it. Look at that luster on it. Yevering Bell. And I can't actually remember... in the dark, dark woods.
What is luster? Like the sort of halo you get around it?
Like the shine, like this. It looks like there's silk in it, but that comes from the Wensleydale.
Okay.
Which, if I remember, used to be called like British Man's or Poor Man's Silk.
Poor Man's Silk.
British Man's Silk, something like that. Yeah.
Got it.
Because it really is. It's lovely. And I started knitting a pair of socks in her, Cuthbert sock, and it was too fun, and I had to stop. Oh, what will you be doing during the holiday season?
A lot of this, I think.
Yeah.
As little as possible.
Alex is well due a rest.
Yeah, I've had 2 weeks off work this year.
Yeah, like formal holiday Alex has had.
Yeah.
When we got married, Alex had like five days off.
Yeah.
Which was a bit sad, but it was still perfect. But we're gonna watch a whole pantomime. We're going to build a den because I'm an adult. We're gonna go Christmas light spotting
Yep.
Because we haven't done that. We've not been out of the house. We've not been out of the house together apart from to the woods. And to work since forever. And have a nice dinner. But we've written a little list of sort of fun things that we would like to do. Make some truffles.
Yeah.
Maybe I have a Dungeons and Dragons game to play, which I'm very excited about, with my new dice bag. I think this is there yet. But other than that, we're not able to do anything sort of but hopefully we'll find a way of playing some board games online with some friends that live quite locally too. That's something that we're looking at doing.
Yeah.
A lot of Zoom. Hey! One of the nice things that we're hoping to do is one of the bigger sort of restaurant companies does delivery, and my family is suggesting that we both order from the same people and sit with the laptops at the end of the table so that we can... There you go. Hi, Mum's having raclette right now. So that...
Very nice.
Yeah, fancy. Sounds like we'll be video chatting. We're unable to go and see our family. We are... In the UK there's a lot of different tiers, but we're in the highest tier because we're just outside of London, which means we can't see anyone, basically, really. We shouldn't, and a lot of our friends at the moment are sort of quarantining,
Yeah.
if we're honest, so we're not. Yeah.
Just me, you and Audrey this Christmas.
Yeah. And Audrey's spring. Audrey has a long love of springs and will play fetch with them, and it's the only thing she'll really play fetch with. She's highly fun, and if she gets up and decides to do some running around, I will show you. Oh, that's a good idea.
That's a really good idea.
Really
Exchanging
good
board
idea.
games. Because you can get bored of a board game.
Oh. You may not pass go. Actually, D20 should consider that. I mean, maybe not at the moment, but they should consider doing like library loans.
Yeah, we have a board game cafe close to us.
Yeah. Which I'd really like.
Obviously, it's not open at the moment, but it's really cool to go there. It is basically a library of board games, isn't it?
Yeah, like thousands. It's
Really enjoy going there.
very cool.
Good food and everything there too.
And even got fancy tables for keeping all your... So you can keep your stats sheets underneath to keep the table clear for maps and things. Dorky.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to count, I think.
One,
Maybe not.
2. Has anyone got any fun questions? Well, counts.
You can ask Alex questions that
Ask me
he doesn't
anything.
want me to butt into.
Because if you start distracting Kat while she's counting,
I'm
This-
not Tinky, you're
this
Tinky.
innocent little face can turn on you.
It's not true.
It's nice for me to knit I've been knitting a sock recently, and I don't mind knitting a sock, but the tiny little needles and the really, really thin yarn kind of cuts into my fingers. It's just much more comfortable.
You've been knitting on a... You you have been knitting using a Dungeons and Dragons Critical Role inspired yarn too, which is by the lovely Hannah of the Corner of Craft, who, if you don't know, has been an absolute trooper when it comes to what's it called, Vlogmas this year. She's really kept up the pace and been quite honest and lovely. I do recommend.
Am I keeping my whips in any fun bag? I'm not actually. I don't know where my sock is, but it's quite fun it's at a point now where the ball of yarn and the sock create a little flag, so I can just stick the sock on the needle into the top of the ball of yarn, and it's like a little flag reminding me to knit on it.
Yeah, you could actually have one of the dice bags.
But if I put it in a bag out of the way, I might forget to pick it up.
But you're actually in bed and you were like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, the other day, weren't you?
It's a bit of a waste watching a series on Netflix without knitting on it, really, when I know I can just knit on it. And then I've got socks. It's nice to have a fresh pair of socks to put on. But yeah, I did keep my last project in a bag. Oh, she's knitting now.
58, 6.
Kat's got a lot of nice little bags for keeping knitting in.
Oh, a cast on waiting on it. I'd give you some, actually, if you would like.
I've only got this and the socks at the moment. And this will be my 4th project, I think. Or 5th? Yeah, 4th or 5th. I've done 2 hats in crochet, and then I've done a hat and a jumper and a pair of socks knitting. And I'm second hat, second pair of socks. Which probably will be gifts for people, actually. Mainly the socks. I'm becoming a multiple projects person. I find it difficult to finish them just because I basically work 12 hours a day, and like I said, I've only had two weeks off this year, so pretty minimal downtime, really. Oh, that's cool. Kat only started recently, but she crocheted for a few years. She was making jumpers and things and little animals, and got into knitting like about 2 or 3 years ago now, and has hardly done any crochet since, actually.
Yeah, that's not true. It was included in my little dice bag pattern.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah, I quite like the idea of finishing using crochet. I think that's quite cool. Wow.
I'm going to start a jumper soon, though. I'm actually waiting until January to buy the yarn, because it's probably going to be quite expensive. I want to get a really nice yarn to do it with.
We have on Ravelry. I've started it, and if anyone has any recommendations,
we got some recommendations on YouTube already.
Yeah,
actually.
but some more. I'll always be happy for more for you, because you never know. It's like, is it Black Isle yarns, which I'd never heard of. Actually, I think Angie told me, and Angie's had. But the more the merrier.
Yeah, I want just a really nice kind of old-fashioned style jumper, like a kind of like a Gansey sort of turn of the century expedition jumper sort of thing.
Alex has got a long love of mountaineering, haven't you?
Wow, New Zealand, amazing. That's in my top 3 places I want to visit in the world for sure. It's like the Scotland of the Southern Hemisphere, isn't it?
True.
Wow, you have people from all over the world watching. They get Christmas before us, don't they, in New Zealand?
Oh yeah, I think
like
so.
A day, yeah.
Time.
Typical holiday dinner. We eat quite traditional, but we pretty much vegetarian, so we don't really do the turkey thing. But really, it's all about the roast potatoes for us. So even though it's just 2 of us, we're gonna probably cook enough roast potatoes for maybe 6 people, just so we've got loads of leftovers.
But I'm definitely part Hobbit. I'll have potatoes with every meal if I'm allowed. Always potatoes.
Yeah.
But Brussels.
I really like stuffing.
Yeah.
Stuffing, and because I'm a bit northern, Yorkshire puddings will have to be on there for me.
Ooh.
Gravy, peas. parsnips.
Yorkshire pudding, as we already said, but red cabbage.
Red
I
cabbage,
think it's
yeah.
underrated.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a really festive thing for me. Like, I'm excited for dinner.
Yeah.
You don't get dinner for. Oh look.
Got some nice wines, cheese and crackers.
Oh no.
Kat just made some mince pies earlier too.
Oh, I did. Yeah, very traditional, really. Not very creative.
Roasted potatoes.
That can't be possible.
That can't be true.
That can't be true. There's many a way to do a roasty, though.
Are there people in the world that don't have roast potatoes? That's so sad.
Really? Are you sure? Oh, if you honestly haven't, honestly go and put them in the oven after you've boiled them for a bit immediately.
So the key to a good roast potato is definitely pre-boiling it.
If you're feeling treaty, peel them too. If you're not so much,
give it pre-boil it and then drain it all off. You want all the water off. Then you want to give them a little shake so they go a bit fluffy around the edges.
Preheat some oil or...
Preheat the oil. Get a nice hot oven. Cover them in oil or butter or both. And then roast them.
And then once they've been in for like 20 minutes or so, pour in as much garlic as you can handle.
Garlic, salt and rosemary.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't check what I meant to be doing. I instantly went into a knit one pole one.
You're thinking about potatoes?
I am. I'm really thinking about potatoes. I'm really thinking about potatoes.
Yeah, me too. I've just dropped a stitch thinking about potatoes.
I think I spoke... My mum's asking to speak about June myths. I'm just going to put my stitch marker on, and this is one of my favourite ones, and it's by Time Weaver, who I always thought shared my surname, but she doesn't. Her name's Nicole.
Maybe I didn't. Good.
Good.
Is there a stitch missing? I thought it dropped one in there.
No, you've got 2 poles.
Huh. We're good.
You're good.
Baked potatoes, but no. Yeah, like a baked potato, but if you cut the potatoes up first, like not a whole baked potato. For British people, a baked potato is a whole potato, not a cut up baked potato.
Definitely.
If that makes sense.
There is, I believe, Jamie Oliver. Like, as much
he
as
does a good one, yeah.
Yeah, I'd look up how Jamie Oliver does his more. He did a video a few years ago, and he halfway through he mashes it down a bit so that you get more crispy bits.
So it's basically you want to maximise the surface area for crispy bits, basically.
Oh, there's nothing better.
Yeah.
2, 4. In fact, I don't have my bag, but...
June miss, July miss. Okay, so Kat's family have a really, really good and sensible tradition that means you can get more than one Christmas into a year. So usually in June or usually July, when it's Kat and her dad's birthday, they do like a second Christmas celebration, but it's slightly summer themed in a way. Probably a lot like what Christmas is in Australia, I guess.
Yeah, it depends on the year, and if we decide to do more like what we had Hawaiimas.
Yeah.
We had a traditional.
So you have a traditional dinner, but maybe with some cocktails floating around.
Yeah. Well, my mum's like a Christmas fairy. It's the best way to describe it. So if we're doing a theme, it will be above and beyond. So we had a tiki hut with cocktails in it, which my sister lovingly made, which was really good. We had a facing hole. Did we discover if they have a name?
Oh yeah.
You know the paintings.
A picture that you put your head in.
Yeah, the picture, which was like a luau, and that was beautiful. I drank the paint water while painting that, and we had a paddling pool filled with fruit with the palm tree and the monkey.
Yep.
Very fun.
Gansey is ready to make. Come back. Knit frocks. Yeah,
Knit frocks.
Kat was telling me about that each region had their own versions of it, and I really would like to get a Northumberland or a Tyneside version, because I know that there's a lot of old pictures of the shipyards from where I'm from in the northeast, and like 100 years ago or so, and the fishing boats and things, and they do seem to be wearing them quite often, so there must be theoretically some patterns from up there that...
Yeah. I think the new year brings a bit more research to the historical side of the project I want to do, but that kind of merges together.
Yeah.
And I'd quite like to follow suit and do something that maybe matches what you knit, but maybe draws from one of my heritages.
Or even a Cornish one. My grandfather was Cornish.
Oh, he was, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he... it's probably some quite cool ones.
Jay goes by Cornish knitter.
Oh really? That's
Yeah.
cool.
Very
Yeah.
cool. I think it would be cool to get a couple of books on it, or a book on it, and sort of really spend some time learning about it as we had knitted it.
History make-along. You gonna do a history make-along?
I haven't, but I have knitted five technically historical garments now. Mine have all been pre 1910, I think, potentially that old. So I should enter and sort of start getting involved. But I kind of forgot about that side of it. But I will. I'll do that. 'Cause that seems... Well, I really like Kristen, who on Vine. She does really cool things. I got this other bobby dangler, which is my lovely stitch marker from Steph of Woolen Witch. I'm just going to put that to the side. I was using that. But I do have quite a few garments that I would like to knit next year, all from a couple of old pattern books that I found, but it's just choosing. There's so many cool patterns out there that are so different to what we are knitting now. It's kind of hard to choose and to also keep it within the remit of things that I'm going to wear or family members or Alex might wear, because I do have a couple of bits up there that I would really like to start wearing, but we need to go out and try and get some film before I start ruining them, because like I say, I'm a bit of a toddler when it comes to clothing. Where in Cornwall was your granddad from?
I don't actually know whereabouts in Cornwall he was from, you know. Can't remember.
You could probably in this time message your mum. She'd probably respond.
Yeah.
Worried that I'm getting
Can't quite remember. I've got a good story about him being from Cornwall though. So he left Cornwall. He was in the army for 25 years, and he left Cornwall like quite early on, really, sort of when he was in his 20s. But he was very Cornish. Even in his old age, he had a Cornish accent, and they actually moved back to Dorset, so he spent a lot of his adult life in Dorset as well. But anyway, he hadn't really been to Cornwall since his 20s, and about 5 to 10 years ago he went back to Cornwall just to visit where he used to be from. And one day he was walking along the cliff tops by the sea, just by himself, and he came across a guy and his wife walking the opposite direction, and they sort of looked at each other and did a double take, and it turned out it was a guy that he'd been to school with sort of 60 or 70 years previous, that he hadn't even seen for like 60 or 70 years. And the guy like invited him for dinner and stuff, and they caught up. But
So nice.
yeah, they hadn't seen each other in that long. I think it's a crazy story.
I'd love to. I absolutely love. I can't do it here. I don't even see anyone I know. I've lived here for.
Yeah.
Shh, we don't talk about age. Wow. Need to get a good Cornish scone recipe or scone. Scone, whatever.
I say scone.
Where's it? Scone. What I think if you make sure that your ducks are in a row when you start knitting a vintage pattern, so to speak. So if you have the current time periods abbreviations next to you, so if I'm using one from a book, I will screenshot the abbreviations page, put it next to the pattern and read it. They will tell you what you're doing. It doesn't hold your hands necessarily quite like some of the patterns do now, but they're not doing anything necessarily more complicated. It's just decrease 1 at the beginning of each row or decrease 4 along this row. It's not difficult. It's if you've got the base understanding. If you don't, and I think that's where I went wrong when I tried to knit in the past, where I wanted to knit old patterns, I was very much into 1940s, 50s. Oh, hi Audrey. And I tried to knit from an old pattern, and having no base knowledge of what stocking net or stocking stitch was meant nothing. So it kind of, but I've been sort of gravitating more towards very early 1900s, is that what you'd say?
Yeah.
The 1910s?
Or
is that?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, but
that confuses me.
Yeah, kind of 1890, 1850, 1890, 1910 seems to be where I'm drawn, but I've seen some really cool 20s, 30s, 40s patterns, and I would like to work through every decade, but changing the project that I wanted to do from knitting something from every decade meant that I've got more freedom to create things that I will wear rather than just knitting for the sake of meeting a target. Makes sense? It is awesome having shared hobbies, and I know that Alex didn't really. You weren't particularly drawn to it when I first started, but I think just after seeing what you can do while you're watching television.
I'm not into complicated knitting because I want it to be like something to do with my hands, kind of. Like just kind of a meditative thing, like a relaxing thing. I've no desire to knit something complicated where I need to keep counting and do crazy. I mean, even knitting 2 and purling 2 is kind of. It's about the limit of concentration I really want with knitting, to be honest. I quite like just going round and round.
I think that's good, and I think you do want a Gansey, so you're gonna have to.
Yeah, I do want one.
But
that will be me trying to get the item of clothing that I really want to own.
This is process, that will be product.
Yeah.
And I think you'll be more doing that on a day where it's raining and you want to sit and put on War of the Worlds and listen to it and just really get into something, whereas that is kind of like day to day. If I'm not the world's knowledgeable at all, but if you need any help with any reading old patterns, I'm more than happy. And if you're not in the Discord group, Beth, if you're not, then that's a wonderful place, especially if you're knitting from old patterns where you can share, or free patterns where you can share the pattern with. There's so many wonderful people that will help out. It's really cool. Wow, nail binding. I so want to try it.
What is it?
So it's the precursor to knitting.
Oh right.
So you use one needle. I think I've gone on about this quite a lot, so I won't. But so you have a single needle, and I think you kind of almost make knots.
Is that how fishing nets are made?
Yeah. But because men were very proactive in making money, they realised that doing things with 2 needles is a lot quicker. But the nail binding, because it's mostly, from what I understand, is almost knotted, it doesn't come apart quite like knitting. Whereas knitting, if you unpick a stitch somewhere, vertically it'll unravel. But on that, it will just be that hole.
Got it.
Oh, that's so exciting. Any pattern ideas or things you're interested in writing a pattern for? I've got a couple of things that I've written most of the pattern for that I'm just, as someone that's not been knitting, I really, 2 years seems like a long time when you're brand new to knitting, I guess, but it's not. And I'm still not 100% confident in myself. And that's more because I've always struggled to explain myself through words, so doing the YouTube channel makes total sense for me. Hey Lydia. But I've got a lot of drawings of things that I would love to knit, and I should have worn my Christmas top that I knit for myself this year tonight.
You knit that one for yourself?
Yeah, but you're the one that I wore recently that I designed with my little mohair frilly bit. But yeah, I like this jumper. This is very fun. Ah, we have and my German is awful. Well, we have Germans in the group as well. If there's no pressure for me to join, but it's a very cool place to get answers and feedback. And
I guess Google Translate, if you get really stuck in that sort of situation, it's fine, isn't it? If you're chatting,
if you're chatting away,
you can copy paste something.
Yeah, and actually, it's really cool to see people that have sort of connected through the Discord group chatting away. But I hope to spend more time with my Discord knitters over the next few weeks. Now we've got a bit more time. Ah, thank you so much. We have a few. I am just a bit. I love to knit things that are practical for me, and what's practical for me is not practical for everyone, and I think that shows. I've knitted dice bags, but actually I want to dig them down, but so many people are are using them for like stuffing Christmas gifts in, which is was the idea, but also hanging chocolates on the Christmas tree, which is really cool. Oh yeah, we do have translators in the group. Please can you shift to the left? Oh, are we on the wonk? Oh yeah, I see.
Oh yeah.
Oh, how bizarre. Does that just mean coming closer?
Yeah.
To these.
Can we go to?
Oh, but then the Audrey. Well, it's a bit spooky with the green. How's that, Mum? I can't believe that you're knitting the spiritual guardian as well. It's so cool. It is magic when, as someone that is very aware of their lack of understanding of words, to be able to translate it into something written and then see other people turn those words into something that not just that they've made, but they can then wear. It's so cool. And seeing how people translate your colour scheme or yarn choice into something completely different too is just, it's really cool. Oh, Mum, got Jenny socks on. I was going to dig out my ones from last year, but I wore them a couple of days ago.
You should explain what Jenny socks are to everyone.
Oh, Jenny socks, my aunt makes socks, and I didn't understand the amount of work that went into them as much as I really love these socks. I've been wearing them for years. Actually, these are engagement ones. But my aunt is a prolific sock knitter, and they are the cozy, comfiest socks in the entire world. I think these are Regia, maybe? I think. I'm not sure. I hope you're enjoying the cables though. I think if Alex is going to do a Gansey, Alex is going to have to maybe learn a cable on it.
Oh no.
Do you need a...
I think I might need my
Do you need assistance?
my maintenance manager to have a look at this. I feel like that's either picked up when it shouldn't have been, or it's got the other yarn missing.
Oh yeah. What's happened here?
So when I knit, usually once every half hour or so, I have to do this.
And
Fix it.
It's really sorcery.
Can't fix it. And it's magic, she just fixes it.
Can I have a fixer?
Who fixes your knitting?
Me after a tantrum? Kidding. I don't. Knitting is one of those things that you just have to enjoy. If you're not enjoying it, put it down. Swap projects or... Cables aren't intimidating. I think you have to really be happy in reading your knitting. And once you get your head around what the cable is doing, so read it a couple of times, like the description. And if it's switching where the purl stitches are, like think about it ahead of time and then notice it when you're doing it the first couple of times, and it will become really natural. You're just knitting them in the wrong order. It's very clever. It is very clever. If you're putting them in the back, the stitches that are in the front are gonna be hanging to the right. And if you're putting it in the front, the stitches, maybe I'm saying it wrong.
Do you think is it one of those things that you just need to start doing it and then it all becomes clear?
Yeah, and not having that fear, the same as doing brioche or, I don't know, steeking. Honestly, I can't be an advocate enough for trying these things, because steeking's different because you're cutting your work, and I say this so often and I don't mean to be a broken record, but cable is just knitting stitches in the wrong order. It's not so scary. Yeah, Jenny can. Do you think someone can actually enjoy it? Yes. Don't be mean to poor cables. They're just stitches done a bit wonky. Maybe I'm a cable stitch in real life. Just a human, just a bit wonky. Yeah, I will make sure that this just stays live, I think, on the stream. Lydia, maybe we can do some swapping. Though I have got to say, I love some minder stockinette too. Knitting the same. All you're doing with the cable stitch is bringing stitches in front or behind. So it's similar in a way, but the process is different. Oh, thank you, Lydia. because it's really quite warm now. Maybe it's because I'm a bit nervous. But what's anyone else knitting on? It's quite cool. I know we've got Spiritual Guardian. Yeah. I have an Aran weight blacker yarns that I've been saving because I think I want to do a undyed cabled garment, but I just haven't found the perfect pattern for me yet. I think, is it Nora Garn that did the one with the antlers, and I did think that was really cool, but I think I'm a bit more simple than that. An all over cable, but one that's just more textured than graphic. Ah, Jay, that's really exciting. I hope that it's explained well enough in the pattern and that you do enjoy it. There's a lot of cable chat. Definitely have a little bit of there's definitely projects for different times, like you doing just the hat now versus,
Yeah.
and I'm starting to finally feel like I've got a rhythm here. Yeah, I actually haven't thought about looking at Irish patterns, but then that would make sense. I naturally need to look into some, because I actually feel really unknowledgeable, is that a word?
Yeah.
When it comes to Irish patterns. I really love Woolly Mammoth Fibre Company, and I would love so very much to one day knit with her yarn, but I wonder if she might have some links and sources to Irish patterns. If you have any suggestions, I am very happy to. Ooh, I'm starting to get into the rhythm of this, I think. I'm definitely becoming... I thought I was going to be like only a colourwork knitter, and I'm growing more and more to love texture too. And I think when I do colourwork, I always get really excited and forget how much I love it. But definitely becoming a bit of a texture, but also shape. I didn't realise how much after a couple of years of knitting that you kind of learn what shapes you like in a garment and what's practical. Like, I really don't I don't like a low necked jumper. I don't like it when the arms come down to here. It's just a bit like, yeah. Ah, faux cables. Oh, pray tell. They're not just twists, they're like properly fake cables. That sounds interesting. Maybe you could have a go at fake cables.
Maybe. Does anyone else get really sleepy when they knit? In the same way that like reading a book can make you sleepy. I do.
Alex is like, I'm ready for bed.
Maybe that's why it takes me so long to finish things.
You just get going and then get to bed.
Yeah. It's a very peaceful activity, isn't it?
It is, especially when there's no TV or music on. It's just us. And reading some words. We thought about it today, and I don't want to talk about the world too much, but what New Year's Eve suggestions? Because we're thinking of maybe rewatching a past set of fireworks. I'm not really into fireworks personally, but I like the idea of seeing in the new year. What else can we do? There's no real like New Year's Eve films.
Maintenance.
You can be in charge
Maintenance
of reading.
break.
Oh, you dropped your contrast colour.
42.
Oh, good. You're very good at reading what you're doing.
Does it change as I get sleepier? Probably does, actually. Some days it does change. Not so much anymore, but the earlier things I knitted, you can see definite stripes. Or you can see a stripe through where Kat's done a roll.
Yeah, that's because I'm a really loose knitter by comparison. Though, this isn't as tight as normal.
I'm getting more relaxed with it.
Yeah.
I am making a conscious effort to not knit as tight anymore. It's less painful on my finger.
Yeah, I feel like I used to knit tighter when I was commuting.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's like, I do think that, like, not only because I was probably like this, but that's a good idea. We can watch it. Yeah.
Round the world New Year's, yeah.
Well, I mean, they often show that, but it's always out. Yeah, that would be quite cool to just watch from somewhere else.
Yeah.
You're proving them wrong, man can multitask. Yeah, I think on commutes too, I noticed that I would do this, and that was just stress. And now, so my shoulders drop loads. Maybe just the shape of this jumper.
This is a bit different for me, but now that I can kind of do the knit stitch okay, I can not look when I'm knitting, but because I'm doing 2 knits and then 2 purls here, I have to keep looking at what I'm doing. So this is not exactly a great one for watching TV or whatever.
But it's good to... You'll get there.
Yeah, I will.
I think you've done a lot more stockinette knit stitches than you've done purl stitches, haven't you?
Loads more.
Oh, Loretta Napioloni? Can't remember her last name. But Loretta, she was the author of The Power of Knitting, and it is one of the most amazing, very short reads, very short listens, but it's really, really wonderful. Do very, very much recommend.
On Audible?
Haig. Yeah, I picked it. I got it for free on Audible too, because I hadn't had a book in so long, which was really cool. Lucy Haig. I'm gonna write Lucy Haig down now. Oh wow. Yay! Kathy, lovely to have you in the Discord. New one.
Happy Christmas, Jay.
Ah, Merry Christmas. I hope you have a lovely one if we don't get to see you. Yeah, it definitely is muscle memory. It's amazing how quickly it comes too, isn't it? Like it. I'm keeping tabs because this is a rib pattern that I have. I don't know that I've ever done this rib pattern. Can you believe it? I'm enjoying it, but it is a little bit off kilter for me. I think, personally, I love 1x1 rib because as a continental knitter, and it might be the same with English, I guess maybe not, but you know where the the yarn is where it needs to go for the next stitch. So it's just like a little
Yeah,
little
I'm
dance.
I'm wishing that I did one by one right now, because it would be such a it'd be like a little dance, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It's like a rhythm,
But
back and forth.
you could change it for do the brim in 2x2.
I guess. Yeah, maybe I will do that. Actually, it'll be much.
Hello, Balance Gain. It's lovely to see you. Are we? My eyes going funny. Are we? You alright?
Oh, okay.
Got to stop doing that. It's a way of smiling. This is because my D&D character does that when she smiles, and I do it on camera, and I don't mean to, but now I'm like, it's seeping over into my real life character. Embarrassing. Aww. Has anyone else got any lovely Christmas plans to share? I think we're definitely going to do some FaceTiming or Discording or Zooming, one of those new verbs, but tomorrow. But it would be really nice to go and see some Christmas lights. People, I say people, my mother's here and my family appear to be here. The furthest I have been into the high street since February, Valentine's Day, is what's that? Five Guys.
Did you get a Five Guys without me?
No, we got it for Valentine's
Oh,
Day.
okay.
I got it with you, honey.
I remember.
Oh, hey Brownberry, lovely to see you. I did talk about my jumper, but I can mention it again. Alex, do you want to talk about what you're knitting quickly?
A hat, 2x2 ribbed hat, using yarn from Cat's Stash. She said you can choose any yarn you like, but every time you go with your hand towards a different yarn, and she goes, oh, maybe not that one because that's for this, or maybe not that one. So
It
basically,
wasn't that bad.
I chose some yarn that she didn't actually know what it is. It's kind of a cool pattern. Oh, and I've just got to focus.
That's it was called something Tweedy.
Something 3D.
Yeah, I think it was Stylecraft or King Cole. And then this one's a lovely one. This is, I love Blueface Leicester. That's definitely up there. And it's by West Yorkshire Spinners. I have cast on 4. I'm not going to show you a picture because we've just discovered again that the focus is a bit wild on that camera. But it's called the Land Girl jersey or sweater, which is a design by Whistlebear in Whistlebear yarn. In this gorgeous Yvering bell. She just it's so drapey and lovely and mohairy and sheepy. Ah, make your own pizza. Why didn't we think of that?
It's a good idea.
We have some sourdough bases frozen from last time you made them. It's a very good idea.
Yeah. Very good idea. Who doesn't love pizza?
I don't know. I think you can't really not love pizza because it's bread. I think we've come to the conclusion that if it's carbs, I'll consume it with a huge smile.
Yeah.
And you too.
Do you love a bit of pizza?
You turn it into the carb.
Do
Heather
you
and
love a bit
carb.
of pizza?
Pizza. Definitely look at faux cables on YouTube. It sounds so nice to be knitting at home. I think I was actually really good at sharing, and I would have shared more. Alex wanted to use yarn that he might already have. And yeah. And there was things that are put aside for projects that is just in a box, and probably shouldn't have just been in a box. It should have been in a bag ready for a project. Ah. I should note that my mum has just put they're taking Fancy Pants for a walk, and that is the affectionate pet name for our dog, not anything else. Mia is a rescue puppy. It is 50 kilos of puppy, but is definitely probably going to need a walk at this time. I love you. Have a lovely walk, and hopefully Santa brings you lots of lovely things, not just prescriptions. Ah, French toast. I didn't really think of French toast. That's a good. Can we have that Boxing Day?
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
What does everyone have for breakfast on Christmas Day? This is something I'm really interested in. Does anyone have any nice, interesting Christmas Day breakfasts, and not just filling your cereal bowl up with Baileys?
Cinnamon Grahams and Baileys. Oh, that's just genius.
Or do you just skip breakfast entirely and hold out for Christmas dinner? Sometimes an option.
Oh, Sammy, it's really nice that we're here keeping you company.
Cinnamon rolls.
Thank you for keeping us company too. Oh.
We've got some in the freezer that you made.
Cardamom
rolls. With cinnamon as well, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, as is given. Oh, Bucks Fizz and croissants.
Yeah, that's fancy.
That is fancy.
I like that.
We can have Bucks Fizz tomorrow.
Have we got some?
I bought orange juice because I'm on holiday. And I can have jam because I'm on holiday.
Yeah. Homemade bread, cheese, olives, tapenade, chorizo. Nice.
Bieber, my breakfast is always caffeinated.
Scrambled egg and salmon every year. We do have some nice Scottish smoked salmon. And Kat's just made some nice sourdough bread earlier, so it's probably the way things are going to go, I think.
Yeah, I think just one slice so it doesn't ruin dinner for me. So many good biscuits and gravy with sausages.
That's an American thing, isn't it?
Yeah, California.
I wonder what the equivalent of a biscuit is in the UK.
Scone?
Scone.
Like a savoury scone?
Yeah.
Scone? Scone. Aww. Homemade bread with olive tapenade and chorizo. Oh, Lydia, you're so fancy sometimes. Souffle. Bread soaked in egg and milk with sausage. Oh. Oh, wow. Look at on my eyesight. Joey Ashley, brunch waffles. Cognac steam milk French toast.
Biscuits are totally different than scones.
Are they?
Yeah. This has become the how to make us hungry podcast. Lots of good ideas for food there.
Yeah, I need to have a proper biscuit. I felt like it was somewhere between cornbread and a scone.
Yeah.
Must be wrong.
I guess we need to probably, in order to try what American biscuits taste like, we probably need to make them ourselves. So if anyone wants to shoot Kat a recipe.
Oh yeah. Especially
an authentic recipe, I guess.
Yeah.
Even if they're bad, because sometimes sometimes traditional foods are kind of bad good. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like sometimes the trashy version is better than the fancy version. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think.
Like if you wanted to describe what a crumpet was like to an American,
Oh yeah.
you wouldn't give them a recipe for some nice sourdough
Sour-
crumpets, would you? You'd give them the Warburtons bought from the supermarket one.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is right. Like a peach Melba, you'd have to
Yeah.
go to Greg's.
Yeah.
Savoury butter. See, maybe it's because we use like sort of French butter. Ours are a bit.
In Scotland, they have a thing called a buttery, which maybe is quite similar.
Yeah,
It's like a flaky, buttery
Buttery.
scone.
might be more.
Yeah. Interesting.
Maybe we should do a bake along.
Yeah.
I've actually been talking to the lovely Knitter's Homestead or River. I love River. I was secretly hoping that I sent her a gift package would arrive today. Oh. It's so British. But we were talking about doing a bake along, probably a pecan pie, because it's one of my favourites that I don't often do because pecans, as they should be, are very, very expensive over here, as is maple, and I would definitely do it with maple. And I just thought we thought it'd be really fun to make the same recipe and then do a taste test. Just sounds really, really fun. Southern US biscuits are so much better than just regular US. Angie's got some anyone that would like to, but I will hassle friends in particular.
We must go to the US when we're allowed to.
We really need to. Such a shame we couldn't get there with Warped Tour. Baking soda biscuits are sort of scone, but flaky biscuits are flaky, kind of more towards croissant, but not really.
Interesting.
Like a cronut. No. That was a phase,
Yeah.
a fad.
So if anyone doesn't know, in a brief moment of madness for about 6 months, Kat opened her own bakery, and we had a little bakery in Watford. Micro bakery, yeah.
It wasn't a moment of madness. It was a
very good idea.
It was a way of getting out of a basement job in Soho, which sounds a lot worse than it wasn't a very nice job, but it was definitely a good way to. And then I ate way too much cake and laugh.
Oh, I need your
good.
help now that I've just mocked you. Bake along. Yeah. Not all delicious food is healthy. Some delicious
No.
food is healthy.
Yeah, I think, but I'm a firm, I don't want to pedestal it, but I think if you make something yourself, you enjoy it more and you realise what goes into it, and you can control what goes into it, and you enjoy it more because you've made it.
Same
And
reason you knit.
Yeah, exactly. You've got control over where the yarn comes from. It's super interesting. Sorry,
Sometimes if I don't say anything after Kat's fixed my little knitting errors, she'll just automatically go on autopilot and keep going, and sometimes I stay really quiet so I can get a few more stitches in for free.
The thing is yours are often this is not difficult. I'm really enjoying it. It's ribbing. It's just not normal ribbing that I'm used to. But Alex is almost always doing something more-ish and takes less brain power. So once you've done one stitch, you may as well do 100. Thank you. I wonder how little a thought she was getting on. I'm doing alright on this one. Aww. She doesn't want to play with us.
She's fast asleep today, enjoying her little sofa.
She did some running around for a bit today. Not very much, albeit.
I think my mistakes come more frequently when I get tired.
You've only made 3 little, and they were all just. Alex is holding the yarn double, and the only thing you've done is just not pick up both yarns on the round below. Gotta say, knitting with this yarn, having sheared the goats, has become so much more special. Like, I keep thinking of little Isadora, who's so sweet. Which I can't get a picture up. I know that Alex doesn't enjoy when I say things that I can't show, and I feel bad when I do it now. But Isadora was a very sweet little goat that I met, and Alice was very sweet, and she really wanted someone to look after her that could give her more time, because Alice hasn't got thousands of I keep saying sheep, I'm so used to sheep, goats. She's got one of the larger flocks in the UK, if not Europe. No, the UK. And there's still only 150 or so, but it meant that little Isadora, who they thought was maybe a bit blind, wouldn't quite get the attention she needs, because trying to pick her out of, I would pick her out of 150 goats like in a heartbeat, but it would have been difficult, so she's gone to a home with just 5 other goats. So she was very sweet, and we created a little bond, and every time I knit with Whistle Bear now, I think of little Isadora's face and her little waggy tail.
I was sad that I couldn't go to Whistle Bear to see the goats this year, because we had planned to.
Hopefully next year.
But hopefully next year we can both go.
When the studio's back open.
Yeah.
Go and see.
Everyone who can should go there when it's back open, because they've got a lovely little space by the looks of it, and
it's gorgeous.
I guess if you're a knitter that knits with mohair, it's the place to go, isn't it?
In the UK.
In the
for
UK,
me.
yeah.
I think I felt how Alice feels about a lot of things when it comes to pesticides and using food, and I heard from Alice what I've heard from a tea farmer which Alex and I visit, and it felt really nice to experience that point of view from someone that farms animals. I don't know why it felt different, but it did, and I just, not to mention the beautiful Northumberland countryside. It really... Wow! From Canada! Merry Christmas, Sherry! And Merry Christmas, Celeste! She is very sweet though, I'm sort of...
Northern Alberta, I bet you have snow right now. I bet it's very cold. Must be a magical place.
Aww.
Just sounds cold, doesn't it, Alberta?
Alberta.
The only thing I know about Alberta is that they find a lot of dinosaur skeletons there, and it snows.
Like Dorset. Where is... I wish it was my studio. Alice, Tess, if you want to share, get in touch. But I'm kidding, I'm definitely kidding. But it is in Northumberland, and it's called Whistle Bear, which is spelt like a whistle, and bear as in B-A-R-E.
And it's kind of close to Scotland if you don't know where Northumberland is. It's kind of just south of the Scottish border, about 30 miles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not very far at all. from Scotland. It's really beautiful. But all of Alice's yarn at the moment, I believe, is grown on site. I think you can even get finished socks, which I didn't know, which is really cool.
Very good yarn.
But yeah, we're having our second Chinook, so it's just above freezing right now. Ooh. Ooh.
Cool. It's just above freezing right now here too, actually.
Yeah, I think it is.
Probably quite similar, though.
It's saying it might go down to -1.
Which is completely different in Fahrenheit. But
Yeah.
might be dip just below freezing tonight.
That would be nice.
My parents up in the north of England have had a lot of snow today.
It looks lovely.
Yeah.
I've been dreaming of a white Christmas for about
Don't
3
sing it.
decades. Why? This is where this jumper was inspired by.
Really?
It was inspired by Betty and Judy in the lodge. And I equally like the precursor to that film, Holiday Inn, which isn't as well loved. Oh, -30. That'll give you the chills thinking about
Yeah.
it.
It really would.
I'm a bit like a radiator due to my health consistently, so actually -30 sounds not nice, but a little bit more ideal to sleep in than our current. Aww. We've just had a notification that we're live. That's strange.
Alabama too.
Ooh.
Amazing.
Yeah. Minnesota, it's -20 as well. Whoa.
Oh.
Get your blankets out. Definitely weather for knitting blankets in, which is something that I haven't done, and it looks like I have because I've got this gorgeous knitted blanket here, but this was another Jenny gift. My auntie is a wizard.
This was a wedding present.
This was my 30th
30th birthday present, sorry.
We can have it as a wedding gift.
Knew it was a big one.
Yeah, it was a big one. But
There's a lot of knitting.
a lot of knitting, but we use this. It's been on the sofa even during the summer, and now we snuggle up in it. Now it's winter. It's really good. And Jenny also knitted a blanket for my aunt for her 50th birthday, and it was, each square was about the size that this is, so I guess, do you know, 25 by 20, 15, something like that, and they were all cable and textured. It was gorgeous. I remember crying when I saw that in real life, and that was before I was a knitter. Ooh. Ooh.
Ashland. I wonder where VA in American, is it a state or is it Vancouver?
Is it Vancouver?
Or is it?
That's Canada, no?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm terrible at this.
Terrible at geography. We're both terrible at geography. It's amazing to see people all around the world there.
Hey Sandy, though, it's lovely to see you. 5 blankets. You sound like you might need it. 4 degrees. Lydia, we're sort of a bit closer. I think ours is saying 5 at the moment, and then we're gonna get a bit cooler. Because I thought it was a lot later than it is, but still getting on. Virginia.
Virginia, of course.
One day.
One day.
We'll have to learn all of the states.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you don't, the amount of posts. But then, do you post that much tea to the states?
I do post a lot of tea to the States, yeah.
Alex is a tea blender,
I am a tea blender, yeah.
and I enjoy sharing Alex's hobby with him too.
Good. drink tea for a living.
Yeah.
It's not all that exciting though. Really, there's a lot of dealing with missing postal orders. Is
At the
really
moment.
what my job is at the moment.
Not normally, but
Yeah.
yeah. We don't talk about that. It's happy Christmas time. Aw. You do, though the crossover into brewing beer is interesting, and I'm happy to share that with you too. Not because we're big drinkers particularly, but flavour's just amazing, and what you can do out of,
Again, just making
Natural.
things yourself.
yeah.
Starting with a natural product and then ending up with something you want. That's why we all knit, right?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. And it's like blending. You're blending yarns and patterns together to create something that's truly your own.
Yeah.
It's fascinating how we all
Quite
adapt.
liking the way this is turning out. The colours.
Oh, hey Maria in Portugal. I really loved Portugal. I would really love to return. It's one of the few places I've been to. 35 minutes to Christmas.
Wow.
Wow.
Maybe New Zealand it already is Christmas, no?
I always get so confused with times.
Yeah, time zones are confusing.
Especially when it comes to YouTube for some reason. But maybe it is. I'm actually genuinely quite excited and invested in Samantha having her Christmas so soon. Do you have any special teas that your company produces?
We kind of do have specialties, but mainly the kind of teas we do are like kind of niche. So they'll be from a single 400-year-old tree, or they'll be made by a 16th generation maker, or they'll be kind of famous for another reason, like they won a competition in China, or it's a lot of that kind of thing we do. But we've also invented some teas which we do, like our London teas, which I do, like roasted, different kinds of roasted teas, and yeah, not very many kind of blends really. Earl Greys and things like that we do.
Scented, yeah. It's
Scented.
very interesting. Right?
Yeah, and we do a lot of things for companies, so like perfume companies, and if they want their own range of tea, then maybe I'll come up with a tea blend for them and things like that. Yeah.
Ah, Christmas morning in Australia.
Amazing. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Love your tree. The tinsel wasn't actually even placed on it, as you can see, since it just curves. But this is a collection of a really classy tree, some charity shop gifted bits, and some wooden decorations that I've had since I was, I think, 1 or 2 years old. My parents bought them for my bedroom. And then we do admittedly have some dinosaurs on there.
Yeah, we've topped our tree with a velociraptor this year,
For the last few years.
so that's fun.
It's just... and a star though. It's just hanging on to a star. Wow. South Africa.
It's very much like roasted coffee, yeah, roasted tea. I roast it in a very similar way to how you would roast a coffee. Certain Japanese teas are roasted when they're made, but what I do is I roast tea after it's been made into a finished product. So I'll take a tea maker's tea and then I'll roast it and blend it to make a kind of a new tea with it. And it makes it really chocolatey and kind of biscuity, almost like a hot chocolate. I do a lot of grinding of tea too, so I grind matcha, but I also grind black tea and oolong teas to make like versions of matcha, which you can then make drinks out of.
So cool. You do something very interesting, things. Ah, we've got some Merry Christmas from Hamilton, Ontario, expecting some snow.
Nice.
They're getting a white Christmas too. Peppermint ice cream and sunbathing sounds amazing right now.
That does sound amazing right now.
Alex is all about.
Is that Australia? Can't read from.
I think it's in New Zealand. I think.
Yeah. Does sound very good right now.
Maybe for Christmas I'll put a beach on the TV for you instead of a fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a lovely company, and I can say it because I'm happy to say nice things about people that I don't work for, with all honesty, and Postcards is just awesome. Like, you couldn't get better ethos in a company than the company you work for.
Yeah, that's the reason I've stayed for 8 years, 9 years.
Yeah. It shows, doesn't it?
Yeah. We don't make a lot of money, but we do things right. Yeah.
You're an angel. You're a little tea angel.
I don't know about that.
You are. You've done alright. I really hope there's the amount of stitches that I needed on here.
Will you count again afterwards?
Yes. I will definitely check.
Knitting like trying to get a Christmas present finished for tomorrow. Now, this is the kind of last minute gift making that I usually partake in.
I didn't think that it was I didn't think it was a bad idea, but I wasn't convinced until I tried. I knitted a pair of DK weight socks recently. What a game changer for gift knitting, because as much I really enjoy sock knitting, especially if I'm playing a game such as Dungeons and Dragons or immersed in a film. But when you have to do them in a bit of a hurry, they go so quickly, especially if you're doing them vanilla or in a simple rib pattern or seed stitch or something. Angie is amazing, and I talk about Angie way too much, but she is, and I am so grateful for that little bit of inspiration to do so, because I managed to finish them very quickly.
Cool. Roasted tea. I love Japanese roasted teas. I brought some nice bancha home from work today, and we have some nice hojicha, which we'll be enjoying too. Actually make chocolate out of hojicha, so grind it up in the matcha grinder and then turn it into chocolate. It's quite nice. You can make ice cream and things too.
And ice cream. Yes, and Liddy, I will say that you did that too. DK socks are so good. And with mohair. DK socks with mohair too. Just saying. I didn't actually use a pattern, Yuri, but Lydia, if you've got any suggestions, I would highly be grateful for you sharing too, because I would be up for trying a different pattern rather than just making my own. Or 42 degrees. That's my body temperature. I know what that feels like to have as the core temperature. I know how awful that is to be in. Ah, Nugget!
Hey Becky.
Ah, hey Brown Berry. Yeah, that's a good shout. I didn't realise. Amazing. Hey Becky, it's lovely to sort of see you. Ah. Should have brought the laptop closer, but if we bring the laptop closer,
The cable to the camera will fall out.
yeah, So we'll just have to. And I'm so pleased that. I mean, you can tell I'm walking my glasses. I'm a bit like Harry Potter when it comes to glasses. I don't know where my other ones are, but they've only got one arm. And these ones don't even try and sit straight. And it's not because my ears are wonky, because I did quite a lot of measuring to check. How? This is really cool. There's so many people from all across the world together. I wonder if everyone's near enough's knitting too.
Yeah. People finishing projects and starting them.
Amazing. Lydia, what kind of heel do you do? I keep just doing a short row heel. Or basically the same as a fish lip kiss, but with German short rows, because I love them. But I should probably be a bit more playful with a heel. Ah, Sammy, yeah, mine is Hufflepuff. Can you remember what your Hogwarts house is?
Gryffindor, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think you are. Sounds very right.
Sounds all bored by that.
No, I was like, yeah, I was like.
You sound so disappointed.
Hard working and brave. That's you. Alex has got a good Patronus though. All patterns can be just with a bit of maths. Ah, yeah, it is about doing a bit of maths, which is always quite fun, I think. But yeah, especially if you know how you will knit something, like if you know what your gauge will roughly be, like it makes life a lot easier. Which is something that I'm going to try and do in the new year, is every time I swatch or knit anything, try and write down what gauge I got with that yarn so that I can refer back to it when I'm going to use it in for like socks or other projects, so that I don't have to start from the ether. I can sort of start from where I... Remember how long ago you started those unicorns, Nugget? Becky? I hope you get some of your presents all wrapped. Heel flap and gusset. There's a lot of... I think a lot of people have set ways for their socks, and I think I've fallen into that as well. I do really enjoy a heel flap and gusset. It's what my auntie does for us when she knits them. You can't say it's a good Patronus and not tell us what it is. Can you remember?
Can't remember.
It's a hedgehog. It's a cute little hedgehog. And I've got a Nebulon cat. It's like a big cat, which makes sense.
I've actually been listening to the Harry Potter audiobooks this week.
Yeah, Alex has been doing a really good job of putting them on before bed, listening to one chapter, and then coming home like the middle way through the next book. So I'm like having a really quick whirlwind tour of Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Like,
I have got through 4 books in the last week. It's what I do at work, just have my headphones in.
Yeah, Alex works obviously
By myself.
by himself. But Alex has been doing that predominantly for the last 8 or 9 years, so it's
Yeah.
not I was about to break into Tom Jones. But it isn't, it's not unusual for Alex to blitz through a series of books, including all of the Everest books.
Every single one.
Every single Yeah, I think, Lydia, I'm with you in that I don't enjoy knitting heel flap and gusset, and I wondered if it's because I haven't knitted them enough, and with a little bit of time, and actually now I've got more of an understanding of what I'm doing with my knitting, if it would stick and it would become a bit more natural, or if there's sort of, yeah, I really like almost mottos. I don't know, I say right in front and left behind for my make ones. It's just simple, it doesn't make much sense to if you just said it randomly, but it does if you know what it is. I wondered if there's a way of remembering how to do a heel flap and gusset so that you'd actually enjoy knitting it. Yeah, Stephen Fry is all about that. Yes, Samantha. A fish lips kiss heel. Yeah, it is funny. There's a lot of things in knitting that's quite funny to people when you don't. It doesn't, you know. If you're overhearing. Knit a stocking. Yeah, I wonder if that's a way of remembering it. Doing it something slightly bigger and really seeing it.
Really good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you have to use huge needles, or would you do? That's the yarn size, isn't it?
Yeah, and we've got up to. I think I own up to 9mm, maybe 10mm needles, but I don't often use. Definitely use my smaller sets a lot more. Starting to look like a jumper now.
These are the biggest needles I've ever used in terms of diameter.
Yeah, they are. I can't remember if I think I put you on 4.5. We'll have to try the hat on for you soonish.
4mm.
4mm. Oh yeah, because you were saying you were going to try and knit looser.
It's good that I checked then, because the needle was coming undone. I needed to tighten it up.
Serendipitous.
Everyone check your needles and tighten them up.
Or just make sure your other half does it at the beginning. It is one of my bad habits. I often don't tighten the needles because it very, very rarely comes off. But the one time you don't. I'm off for a sec. What is it? Bishop's kiss. It's a heel pattern. It's very, very popular. There's a lot of information that comes with it. And I really enjoy it, and I have, on the odd occasion, knitted it slightly differently to make it a bit longer. But I know that there are other heels, and I can't remember. I think it's Hannah from the Corner of Crafts friend, Becky from Soprano Knits, has a really good different version from what I understand. She has a good one for someone that needs a deep heel. Becky, do you need to cast on with something else? Probably do. I would quite like to see what kind of stocking you came up with. Hopefully it has a little Charlie dog on. Charlie is a bit like a sausage dog. And a stocking with a sausage dog on would be absolutely lovely. Aww, so nice reading people being nice to each other. Oh no, Alex, I did that last night. Aww, the needles.
Oh yeah. Be careful.
Do you want a tighter upper?
No, that's what.
Which is the official name. I'm sure that's what higher call them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I have no idea.
It's just a little rubber thing, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Ah. I'll copy and paste that while I remember. Wow.
I've lost another. Can I fix it myself?
Are you gonna try?
I'm going to attempt to. Yeah, I did fix it.
Becky, how's your dewcock? How's your dewcock? How's your dewcock coming along? Ah, that's interesting, Sherry. I think there's a lot of there's a lot of different methods on this and preferences, and people can be quite strong. I had second sock syndrome before, and then I went on to try to the socks 2 at a time, and I really enjoyed it because I got the 2 socks done, which I'm still singing the Do Run Run song.
2 socks done.
2 socks done now. Oh dear, must be getting late. But then I switched to minis, and actually recently I've been knitting on a pair of socks on Magic Loop again, and I finished the first one in 2 nights, and the other one will take a bit longer now that I've got this on my needles. Ah, Celeste, I'm so pleased that you're here with us. Oh, that's lovely. Hi from Canada. Lovely to see you. You've been here for a long time. Bonk my glasses off. And it's so nice that we're getting to chat with everyone. It's lovely. And it's quite cool that we're able to actually do it in real time this time, because we did it through a bit of Discord and Instagram magic before. Sweet Tomato Hill. Oh, that sounds
Is that another
good.
one?
Yeah. I'm gonna Sweet Tomato. I want to design a hill just to name it.
Give it a funny name.
Yeah.
What would you call it?
Ooh. Are we talking a short hill or a big hill?
It doesn't
A deep
matter.
hill. Because it would be cool to do a pair and do like Gandalf the Great and then Samwise Gamgee.
Gandalf Hills.
Gandalf Hills. Could do Gandalf the Grey and Gandalf the White.
Yeah.
Dunno. Or roasted potato hill. Aww. Needle came off. Yeah. Magic Loop is a... I don't know, I don't enjoy the feel of Magic Loop. And I think you actually have come to a sort of similar thing, haven't you? But
Yeah, when I
guess
sorry.
no, there's just less risk of...
When I knitted those socks together with using the magic loop, I found it to be a real slog.
Yeah.
Just doing like 20 stitches and then pulling it through again. Yeah.
You shall not fray. That's so good. Yeah, maybe I'll have to try and re-enter the chat and watch the replay and create a Ravelry bundle of heels so we can refer back to them. And even DK patterns, because it looks like there's been a couple. I agree, it will make you nuts and it's a slog. Looks like it. I really want to watch all the Harry Potters. It's because that's in my head again now, but I do really want to watch all the Lord of the Rings again. but we did only watch them at the beginning of the year.
North Carolina. Wow. It's amazing.
It really is so cool, isn't it?
Yeah. All places I'd like to visit.
Ask everyone to do a little video out of their house so you can see, travel the world in a video. Imagine if someone wasn't wearing it through our search history. Tomato heels, fish lips kiss. It is funny. Oh, haven't done much today, had elf duties. Oh, I'm so excited to see Becky's Ducot, and hopefully one day we'll have Becky on the channel. It's been very difficult this year because of life, but one day Becky will finish and be brave enough to come and sit with me, and you can all get to experience a bit of Becky too, because she's my favourite little friend. Don't tell Audrey though. She's my favourite cat friend. Hey. Can't believe she's not even slightly interested in.
Oh, I see.
On for nearly 2 hours.
Oh wow.
Is it nearly bedtime?
I think it is nearly bedtime.
It's nearly bedtime.
My knitting's getting all squiffy. My eyes are getting squiffy.
Yeah, I think I'm glad I put my glasses on actually. But it's been really nice. We'll have to, well maybe we'll do it again. Don't know when. But plenty of free time coming up.
Plenty of free time.
But if anyone has any last questions before we... Ooh!
Audrey just threw something on the floor there.
Before we head off, yeah, it's been really nice having time with, like, actually time with you, but also, well, teehee, that always makes Alex giggle too.
Always makes
Yeah.
me giggle.
Always makes you giggle. I mean, you're being rude, this brewing's bad enough. But anyway, it was Christmas Eve with my husband. Thank you so much for being here. It's made it. I feel a lot more festive having been here.
Yeah, me too actually.
Like,
hearing about people's Christmas plans and
yeah, maybe we can do one after Christmas, and discuss what was done in the end. Not in the end, but yeah. Thank you so much for being here.
Hope everyone has a lovely Christmas.
Yeah. I hope you do enjoy some time doing some fun things, if sitting and knitting for as much as you want to. Maybe researching some ridiculous hill patterns. Yeah, and if anyone is interested in a bake along too, I am deadly serious and very excited to do this with River. And definitely make some American biscuits. I'm going to put that on our list of fun things to do.
Yeah. Definitely. Be really good.
Maybe we should try both southern and northern ones.
It is 10 p.m. almost.
We were in bed at 7 p.m. last night yesterday, just for reference on how ridiculous we are with early nights.
I start work very early in the morning.
So lovely to have you all part of it. I really hope you stay warm and you have some company, even if it's online. I'm very grateful to be trapped in the house with this munchkin and his fancy Santa gifted tartan trousers.
Imagine.
And yeah, eat, drink, be merry, and don't forget to love one another. And we will see you very soon. If anyone still has questions and things, feel free to ping them over. We do the whole Ravelry thing, we do emails, we do Instagram. I often try and tag Alex because people want to know about tea.
Yeah.
We all love knowing about tea. And
Hit me with your tea questions for sure.
Maybe we'll organise more of a tea chat. That would be really fun.
Do that.
And New Year's Live would be amazing. If you want to put that in comments or ping me a message, if that is something you'd like to do, I probably won't go and rewatch this because it will make me nervous and riddled with anxiety. But if that's something you'd like and there's enough of us that would like to sit down and do it together, that would be really wonderful. Anyway, don't forget to love each other, and we hope to see you again very soon. This is going to be weird.